Hey everybody, welcome back to Surprise. I am Surprise, and this is Surprise Radio. I am doing a very special edition with a guest I can't believe I got, which is the amazing, sexy, talented, and awesome badass Avery Jean Clay, the singer of Mirror Lake. Avery, thanks for
Hello.
joining us.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so thanks for agreeing to the interview, and I wanted to start things out by asking you about any of your influences or heroes growing up listening to music or just in general.
For sure. I think that for me, I grew up in like so many different environments musically that I kind of have influences from all over the place. I listened to a lot of punk with my guitarist. We've been friends since we were 12. So we listened to a lot of punk growing up. And then we had like this weird black metal phase thing that happened. But I think that more recently, my influences have been like bands like Atreyu and stuff like that. I've been like jamming just since I was a kid and like really stuck with me and like taught me a lot. And I've made friends with Brandon. He's a super cool dude. And I was able to learn a lot from him, over the years. So I definitely list them as probably number one.
Yeah. I did see that one day you shared a song that had Christina Scabbia in it, which made me realize that
Yes, Lacuna Coil. Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Yeah, your version of oh my god, the name of the song just escaped me. I'm sorry. Your cover song, they did a version of it too, and it sounded a lot like
Losing My Religion. Yes, and I love their version. It's so good.
Cool. I thought that I recognized a little bit of influence there.
Absolutely.
All right. So and going back to that, your impact on the music scene. I don't know if you know anybody that looks up to you yet or anything like that, but if you did find someone, what would some advice you would give them?
I think from any standpoint, whether you're an artist, an entrepreneur, no matter what you're doing in your life, it's hard. Nothing's easy, but don't stop, because you'll never want to wonder what if. So if I had any advice, is that no matter how hard things get, is to keep pushing, because that's what we're learning as we're going with our band. So if I had to recommend anything, it would be that. It's the most valuable advice that I could give myself, and I would be silly if I didn't want to give it to anyone else.
Do you think that there's been any instances of prejudice towards you in the music industry in regards to your gender or the way that you look or anything like that? And has that affected you, do you think, or your bandmates maybe, in your quest to, take the next step?
It's affected us in both positive and negative, actually. So I think that it definitely catches people's attention, because I'm not what the typical vocalist looks like. So sometimes they'll be like, oh wow, I don't think I've ever seen anyone that looks quite like this, or very few people. So I'd like to check it out and see. And we've definitely caught a lot of eyes in that regard. But at the end of the day, I try and sing really good. So hopefully they're looking, at the talent more than the face. Matters. But I know that is an important aspect of it. So I know that they are looking at me as someone different, but I believe that also representation is important. So, me as a little black girl growing up in Houston, Texas, like seeing bands like Straight Line Stitch, come out, and I was just like, oh my God, like that's so cool. It's cool to be represented in that regard, and hopefully I can be that for someone else. I think as far as the prejudice thing, it's something that all girls just go through. In the industry, you go to a show and they ask you 100 times if you're the merch girl, or if you have a ticket to your own show, and it's like, no, I'm performing tonight, but thank you. But that happens. If anything, I think other than that, I haven't had any real issues. I think as far as like maybe like the color of my skin or anything like that, I haven't really run into any real problems. But that toured and everyone's genuinely just been really nice and accepting. So I've been fortunate. And I think that's something you see a lot in the heavy community in general.
I agree. Yeah, that's great to hear that you haven't had to deal with any of that. But things that you might have had to deal with maybe are represented in the lyrics of the song Unspoken. And I kind of wanted to ask you about them, because I have seen that you've done an interview where you talked about this before, but I honestly couldn't find it. So I'm generally interested in what you were trying to say in that song, and did you leave it a little bit ambiguous so that people could kind of take from it what they needed to? Because it did seem certain parts seem like they're about one thing, and then it kind of twists, and you're like, oh, is it actually about, this? And so that's really what I was wondering.
For sure. So I think at the time, the topic behind Unspoken is a really tough one. And I think at the time when I actually wrote it, I was almost afraid to write the song. Like I was afraid to say what it was really about. So I did write it very metaphorically, very ambiguous to kind of leave it vague and open for interpretation. But I mean, obviously, I had my own ideas in mind as to what I personally had written about, and it was, I guess like a time ago, a long time ago in my life, I'd unfortunately been a victim of, well, bad circumstance. And anyway, I got roofied.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horrible story. Like, but it's something I was really afraid to talk about. Talking about sexual assault, that kind of stuff, it was really difficult for me. So when I wrote Unspoken, it's very vague and it's very, who could it be about? What is it about? But, I guess now in my day-to-day life, it's like after writing the song, I'm a lot more comfortable to come out and say that that is what it's about. But whenever I first did that interview that you're talking about, I was very cryptic and I really didn't explain what the song was about at all. I just kind of said it's in this category, but I didn't really talk about it. And I think now, sitting back and people will be like, I know exactly what the song is about. People will approach me and say, I know exactly what Unspoken is about. I understood it word for word what you meant. And thank you for writing that. And I think that getting that enough times really helped me to open up about the actual meaning of the song.
Yeah. And thanks for, talking to me about it and bringing it up, because there are people that need a voice for that. And I hate that that's the world that we live in, but there are people that need that voice. And I'm so thankful for you for providing that for them. To lighten things up a little bit, what's your favorite song to sing?
Live? Okay, so we have an unreleased song. It's called Somber. And it is, it's so I'm going to put this on the record. We do have a record coming out next year. And so the entire record is, we're currently working on it in studio. So we're finishing up that. And then once we do that, we're going to start running the promotion cycle for this album. And that song Somber is one of the songs on the record. It is absolutely my favorite song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that we did this past year that involved that song. We got that whole BuzzFest thing, and that was the song we submitted. We submitted a live version of that. So It was just, that song's really special to all of us. And so it's always going to be my favorite one to sing live until we write some like crazy wild song. But
Cool.
As of right now, definitely Somber.
Awesome. Do you have any, I don't like calling them guilty pleasures, but I guess that's what they are as far as TV shows or movies, books, games. What are you into?
Ratchet shit. No, in all honesty, here's what it is I am like the two pole when it comes to movies and TV shows and books. It is all like the nerd fantasy stuff. So like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, like I love all of that stuff, and I'm super into like that kind of like nerd. I'm really into video games. I play the Elder Scrolls.
Oh, cool.
Like I've been playing ESO, so I've been playing Elder Scrolls Online, but obviously like I played Oblivion and Skyrim and all that stuff too. But that's like the whole lore of Elder Scrolls. I'm obsessed with it. I know way too much about it. Like it's embarrassing how much I know about it, but it's my favorite thing. And then when it comes to music, it's the polar opposite. It's just ratchet. Like I love Megan Thee Stallion and like Cardi B and all like the ridiculousness that comes with that. Like catch me in my bathroom twerking and also like talking about nerd stuff. It's both ways, but it's like that's just like the person that I am.
That's who you are. That's what it's all about, is who you are. So that's cool. Do you have any mic brand preferences, or are you currently sponsored by any? Do you have any that you'd like to be?
No, actually, so I run a Sennheiser. I do have my own mic that I bring to shows, and I run a Sennheiser, which I love. I think Sennheisers are great. They have a lot of clarity. They're amazing. I've also been fortunate enough to sing on an M80, a Telefunken live, and those are super incredible. So if Sennheiser or Telefunken want to like hit me up, that's cool. That's what I actually run.
There you go. Let's put it out
my
there.
bassist. He does vocals too, and we both run Sennheiser and Telefunken. That's what we love.
And I was going to ask you if you had a dream label you wanted to sign to, but did I see recently that you did sign with somebody?
We have not
Oh,
officially signed, but I mean, obviously we've got attention, you know, from labels and we've talked to them. I
mhm.
wouldn't say that I have a dream label so much as I have a dream vision for what a label should want from my band. So it doesn't really matter so much the label that wants to sign us, but I need someone that's going to respect the artistic vision that we have and believe in us enough to like let us do that. That's what I really care about.
Nice. Um, any covers that might be coming in the future that you'd really like to do?
Like 5. But you didn't hear that from me. I'm not supposed to say that at all, actually. We went to a pretty cool little studio and did like, it's all like a video thing. I don't know if we're going to put it on Spotify. For sure, it'll be on like YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But we did like a whole bunch of really cool little covers, some acoustic stuff, some like full band covers. I will say this, and like, I guess nobody heard this either, but they heard it. So we did a full band cover of an old song by the Eagles, Hotel California. And it is
Nice.
like my favorite. It's like if we ever played that live, that would be my favorite song to sing
Oh,
because it's
that'd be
just so
fun.
fun.
That would
Yeah,
be
it's
fun.
so fun. Like the way that we redid it, it's really heavy and cool and fun. But there's a whole bunch of other ones, just some acoustic stuff, some R&B type stuff. It's all mixed up, but it's like we just did this whole like studio session of live covers, and we're probably gonna put that out on YouTube sometime next year as well.
Nice. That sounds a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. So when it comes to touring, is there anybody that you've toured with that was just the best? And is there anybody that you wish or covet to maybe tour with one day?
Man, as far as like people that we've been fortunate to play with that have like truly blown me away, we played a show with While She Sleeps, and those guys are so energetic live, just so much high energy. It was really incredible. And then of course, like vocalists, we did a whole like tour run with Johnny Craig, and it was like watching that dude every night. It's like you can't even believe he sings like that. And he came up to me actually one night, I think it was in Colorado, and he's like, I always wondered what it would feel like to be upstaged by a singer.
Oh, there
It's
you
not so
go.
bad. I'm proud of you. And I'm like, oh, what? It was really cool, like to hear that from somebody. I mean, like I listened to Emarosa growing up, so it was really neat to hear someone that I thought was a great vocalist come tell me I'm a great vocalist. It was really neat.
Very, very cool. Oh, before I forget, I wanted to show off I am wearing my Mirror Lake merch, of course.
Yes, that's cool. That's awesome.
My
It looks
camera
good on
doesn't
you,
want
man.
to. Thank you. Appreciate that. So before we go, I just thought I'd ask you, you did kind of spill the beans already, but if you had anything you wanted to announce, like tours that might be coming up, or obviously YouTube stuff,
so
singles.
we have a really stacked 2022. Some of it I can talk about, like I obviously said that we've got a record coming out for sure. There's tours involved, like we're going to be doing quite a bit of touring next year as well, so we've got a lot of stuff lined up and ready to go. So 2022 is going to be real busy for us.
Good.
I would say that we have a single that we're going to drop before the end of this year, so there's a song coming very soon that we're about to announce, like probably right around the corner. And after
there's
that,
your Black Friday special. You get that early
it's
here.
a Black Friday special, yeah. For sure. But yeah, so after that, we've got just a really busy 2023. So we're going to drop this song, and that's kind of closing the chapter of the songs that we kind of had in our old arsenal. And we've got just like a whole bunch of really cool new ones.
Very excited to hear that. All right. Avery, thank you so much for joining me. This was so much fun for me. I hope that you had a good time too. And is there anything else you wanted to throw out there before you go?
Yeah, so if you guys do not know our band, or if you're looking for our information, everything is Mirror Lake. What is it? Mirror Lake TX. So it'd be facebook.com/Mirror Lake TX. Instagram is Mirror Lake TX. Twitter is Mirror Lake TX. Give us a follow, say hello. We always reply to messages. We're super cool. We try to be. We're really nerdy, but we're super cool at the same time. So yeah, that's what I would probably say.
And I also always link the Spotify and YouTube information down below, so make sure to check that out. And one more time, thank you so much. Have a great, happy Thanksgiving and holiday season, all of you too. And until next time, have a good one.
For sure.